some real light watching on that one there.
What a roller coaster ride that was.
I mean,
a roller coaster.
by comparison to, like, I don't know. I would tell you what I originally wanted to pick, but
I'm kind of curious. What would you originally want to pick?
I might tell you at the end of the episode. Did I say they were recording already?
Yeah, we're
always recording. Goddamn,
always be recording.
Always be
ABC. Always be.
Always be cordon.
Always be cordon.
All right, so welcome everyone to Caging Greatness, the show where we discuss the films of Nicolas Cage 49.876% of the time.
Repeating, of course.
That's not one of those episodes tonight, but I was told, Pat, is it correct that this is our...
That's right. Today, it's a very special episode because it is the 69th overall episode of Caging Greatness.
Shit.
Oh,
nice.
I'm on the 69th episode?
You are.
Nice.
That's right. Our special guest, Ken Logan, who has never been on the show before.
Never. This is my first time. Thanks for
First
having
time
me, guys.
ever. Never before on the show.
Wait,
This is my
that's not accurate.
This is my third time on the
Yes.
show.
I've just decided to turn that into a running bit. You know, like how Frank doesn't exist. Ken's never been on the show.
What the fuck you talking about? I'm right here.
Frank?
What do you mean who the fuck's Frank?
Where are the
You're
cookies?
looking at me.
Where are the soft drinks? I need...
So,
No munchos?
No
munchos.
Yeah. Man.
Inflation. Those fuckers aren't $1.29 anymore.
What do
We're
munchos
more like
do to the chips?
$2.49.
Why are munchos differently crispier than the rest of the chips?
I have no idea.
I guess just the frying technique.
It's copyrighted. It's copyrighted
I would love
Christmas.
to know. Munchos, hit me up on
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure that Munchos are made by two flying saucer robot things that also fix up old
Do they run a
buildings.
1940s diner?
They do.
Oh, yeah.
But they have to keep recharging because batteries not included.
Whoa. You're just dropping the title out of nowhere? It sounded so natural, too.
This
Yes.
movie just dropped the title all willy-nilly, no reverence whatsoever.
We did watch on this episode of Uncaged, Cannon's Pick.
Yes.
Some light watching featuring arson, attempted murder,
Dementia.
lots of dementia.
Dead babies.
Dead
Dead
babies.
dead children.
Yeah. Oh, just overall pregnant
I mean, I
woman
don't know
whose
how accurate
boyfriend
a
leaves
lot
them.
of that is, but you know.
I mean, to a certain manner of speaking. Also tits. There were tits in this movie, too. For a family
There
film,
was
there were
tits in this
there were
movie.
naked boobies.
We watched Steven Spielberg. Apparently directed this film.
He
even though-
produced
Matthew
this
Robbins
movie.
directed it.
He produced
I
this movie.
remember. I'm pretty sure I remember reading that everyone was like, "No, Spielberg actually did it. He just gave the other guy credit."
I mean, probably did, but as far as we know, the director is Matthew Robbins.
Yes. Batteries not included. Name of the film.
Yes.
And yeah, it was
Yes.
it was an interesting film. I vaguely recall seeing this when I was probably like 5, to the point where I didn't remember a goddamn thing that happened.
I've never heard of this movie.
So,
Oh my God, we may have to stop the show. This mic stand is falling now. It has been like lowering this whole time. Have you seen my head just like slowly get like this?
yeah, go ahead and take
Like,
it. We'll
this is-
discuss.
You know what? Let's see how this works live on air.
I'm
Let's see.
going to just turn off the sound on your mic.
If only we had the robots to fix your mic
If only.
stand.
Like I said,
See, all we have is Abaddon, and she more so curses.
Abaddon?
things. Abaddon?
Abaddon.
Yeah, she's not helping.
that from me, fuckers! Can you catch it on the other mic?
Down here?
I mean, I might put it under the. So while Cannon's repairing, Pat,
Hello there.
just give your brief score and what you thought of Batteries Not Included.
This was my first time seeing Batteries Not Included. It's a movie I've definitely heard about, kind of thrown around in the rummage drawer of like, this is a little cult classic film from the 80s. I enjoyed myself. It was a nice, sweet, quaint little movie. Definitely has some tonal shifts, and yeah, wasn't expecting those just tits in the movie either. But no, it was a fun little time. I give it 3 stars
Okay,
and a heart.
sure.
Yeah, the table is too thin. It's not going to work. So yeah, I'm going to figure something else out. Turn me back down, please. Yeah, I think a new spot did it justice.
All right, thanks, floating robots.
Yay!
Fixing Dumping the mics.
Dumped them in the sink. Everything's fine.
Yeah, we're totally good.
Fed him a
Bring
Pepsi
one of them
can.
back from life.
We're fine.
Crystal Pepsi diet. I don't know.
Hit a thug with a pot, and we're good.
We're good.
So
Bonk.
Ken,
Hello.
what did you think of Batteries Not Included?
So this is my first time hearing of this movie, watching this movie. Part of me is curious as to why this movie was ever made, and I don't mean that in necessarily a bad way. It just seems like really, it's a very small story. It's very interesting, and
Oh, so small little people, they don't matter to you? Go corporations, is that what I'm hearing, Ken?
yeah, what I'm saying is these dirty, filthy people wouldn't sell their building to the capital. They're just trying to make money. You know, the more money they make, the more money you make.
The
And that's a
little
fact.
big guy.
Trickle
little
down
big guy.
economics.
Trickle down economics did not work in this movie because there was attempted arson, and the only trickle down was the fuel from the ceiling.
I would say that was successful arson.
It was pretty successful
I
arson.
mean, not attempt. They went boom.
That guy was a pro at arson.
He knew what he was doing until that other guy had to come in and mess it up. But anyways, the movie, honestly, it was a pretty good time. You know, it was, you know, it was very packed. There was a lot of plot development. There wasn't a lot of filler. You know, everything that was in there was, you know, for better or worse, you know, like kind of okay. So, you know, I say give it 3 stars.
Nice. Cannon.
Yes. Yes, this was my choice. I literally picked this today.
Nice.
Definitely not over a month ago when we spun the wheel.
Nope.
No.
Also, we need to remember to spin the wheel before we leave tonight.
Yes, we do. So I decided to pick a little light watch from confusing. All right, first off, I'm confused. I'm going to derail my review immediately. How come on IMDb it says it was an 87, but on the back of my Blu-ray case it says 88? Confusion.
I don't know.
That's weird to me,
Yeah.
right?
It's a branch in the space.
But
continuum.
I watched another fucking movie that I wore out back in the day on VHS because, strange story, my mom and dad, when they were married, they found this tape outside of a Piggly Wiggly that also rented tapes.
A quick
So-
answer to your question. The theatrical release date was December 18th.
Okay.
So it's right there on that edge where
Yeah.
you know, they could just go either way with it.
But yeah, it's been a long time. I'd forgotten a lot, but the longer it went, it all just came flooding back to me. Didn't really, you know, I guess appreciate the darker tones when I was a child because you know you just see the little flying saucers. But like you said, there is a lot crammed in this movie, but I don't think anything is lost from it. Like they literally give you all the plot in the world and they tie it up in some sort of way. I am actually going to give it 3.5.
Nice.
I respect
Nice.
it.
Well, just looking at the reviews, Siskel and Ebert disagreed on this movie. Ebert liked it and said it was better than most of the stuff out there at the time. Siskel said it was a comic book with all the best pages torn out. He did not enjoy it. But you know what? I enjoyed it well enough. It was good. It was fine. You know, like it's one of those that I don't really have an urge to rewatch probably ever. But I didn't have a bad time. You know, we walked in and Ken said, "Got some real light watching for you tonight." And dementia and dead sons and
Gang violence,
attempted robot murder.
Hey, look, it's either this or Schindler's List.
stillborn robot babies.
that was Frankenstein back to life.
So, I mean, you know, it's tonally all over the fucking place. But, you know, like I said, I had a decent enough time. 3.5 stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the basic plot is evil corporation bad guy is trying to force out tenants of a small little building with some apartments and a diner. And the owner of the diner is an old man with his wife who has dementia. And there's other people in the building. They don't want to go. These little robots from space show up and fix all their shit. And so there's a thug named Carlos and a bunch of his buddies trying to force him out for the corporation guy, and they end up going so far as to blow up the fucking building. But the robots come back, rebuild the building, and the corporation guy's like, "Well, fuck, I guess we'll just let it sit there." And that's the movie. That's the end of the movie.
Also, I may have still been in a cloud of fucking anger about the mic stand. Pat, did you give your review?
Yeah, 3 stars.
Holy fucking shit. I don't know how I missed that.
Well,
Jesus
he was
Christ.
giving his review while you.
I
were
was
trying to-
fixing shit. I was the robot.
You
I'm
were
sorry.
on this blessed day.
Jesus Christ.
So we're hitting a 3, 3, 3.5, and 3.5.
Yeah.
Pretty okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like it's
fine.
It is. Yeah, not as light in tone as I remember. But like I said, I was a literal child, and I just remembered baby UFOs.
The first 20 minutes of this movie is just straight up depressing. It's
Yes.
just like
Oh, it's so
people being
fucking sad.
harassed,
Yeah.
like horrible sexism. Like this lady's just trying to get into her apartment. and
like this
she's just
pregnant woman.
like a pregnant woman trying to go in to get into her apartment, and she's being harassed every step up there, up into the door of her apartment, and then they have the audacity to break her Jesus figurine.
Yep. The little saint, whatever it
Little
was.
saint, whoever.
But thank goodness those robots are observant Catholics, so they fixed that right
So,
up.
what do you guys think actually brought the robots there? It was never really fully.
They literally just show up after 20 minutes.
Right. Well, like some dude's like, "Please, someone help us," and then the robots show up. But
It's
it's like it's
coincidental timing. It's nothing. They just showed up.
they just showed up. It's not important.
No.
Like they were in the neighborhood.
Like if it mattered why they were there, then the movie would have told us why they were there.
Now,
Yeah,
see,
no,
if
I'm
they
just curious.
remade the movie today, there would be a lengthy explanation as to why they showed up.
Oh yeah, no, we'd have 20 minutes on their home planet with something or other.
Do you think that there's going to be any additions to the Batteries Not Included cinematic universe anytime soon?
If Disney buys it, yes.
There you go. I'll take the commission now.
Yeah, no, these are going to be part of the Star Wars universe soon.
I mean, they're basically droids.
I mean,
And,
they're the spaceship from Third Kind Encounters.
they're gonna
Kind of counter.
You know that movie with the
Encounters
big
of
ass
Third
ship in it.
Kind. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking
No, like these robots are going to get their own Disney Star Wars show, and every fanboy's going to say it was better in the movie, even though we just watched it and it clearly fucking wasn't.
It's going to tell the tale of some other weird robot.
None of us are feeling this right now, obviously.
I mean, like, movie was fine.
Movie was fine.
It was very much okay. Like, you know, it did a good job of telling a story it needed to tell, but it was a pretty basic story.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I mean, for as basic of a story as you had, the subplots you had in this movie were
Numerous.
more than enough bang for your buck. That's all I'm saying.
oh yeah, no, and there was I think Elizabeth Pena's her name,
I think so, yes.
and she was fun.
Also, I
Yeah,
find it funny that my one of my other picks is also starring Frank McRae.
Yeah,
Who was Frank McRae?
He was the boxer. He was also
Oh.
in Last Action Hero.
Oh.
I mean, I love Last Action Hero.
You know
He's
what?
so
Let's
good.
talk about Last Action Hero.
No, I've never seen Last. Is that the movie with Schwarzenegger
yeah.
with the Christmas thing, or is that
No,
a-
that's
Yes.
that's Jingle All
That's
the
Jingle
Way?
All the Way.
No,
Yeah, okay.
that's Last Action
So I
Hero.
mean,
actually.
There are some similarities.
Last Action Figure all the way.
So I basically missed like the 80s and 90s. Like growing up, my family didn't really like watch a whole lot of movies, so
Yeah.
I kind of missed like a lot of those.
Having known your family for this long, yeah, I'm not surprised.
I watched a whole lot of Looney Tunes and History Channel. Damn it!
We had Batteries Not Included on
I'm
VHS
educated and wacky.
for free on the ground.
When you were watching the History Channel, was that before?
This is before Ancient Aliens.
I was going to say, was that before it became the Nazi channel?
It was there was some Nazi stuff, a lot of modern Marvels, a lot of like big machine stuff. That's all most of what I remember
Very
was modern
cheap
Marvels. How it's
programming.
made in a way that was Science Channel. But anyways, there was a lot of that going on. A lot of cheap stuff, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
But no, first, you know, my parents were very against cartoons and whatnot. So
And fun.
None of that fritter fratter.
Pokemon was the devil.
Yeah, sure was.
Couldn't watch
Always.
SpongeBob or any Nickelodeon stuff. So you know,
Nah.
History Channel was
Pokemon was
And
always
yet
the
somehow you rebelled. Who could see it coming?
Who could see it coming? Wow, it's a tale as old as time.
A young, lascivious Ken drinking a tall boy on the internet.
A tall boy. This is a slim can, and I'm not being filmed, so this could very easily not be alcoholic.
This
It's
is
definitely Pepsi.
It's a
Pepsi.
tall boy of water.
Yo, listen to this. This is the first plot summary that pops up in IMDb. Aliens help a feisty old New York couple in their battle against the ruthless land developer who's out to evict them.
Who's the feisty one in the couple?
That's what I'm trying to
dementia
figure
lady?
out. I think so. That has to.
The crotchety old man. You know, I wish they kind of touched on the whole father-son relationship a bit more. Basically, it's spoiler alert. This whole time, this dementia lady thinks that one of the main bad guys in the movie is her son, and she's like talking to him as if she was his son the entire time. Turns out the son's dead the entire time, but they never really touched on like the father-son relationship.
Well, when
like,
she started screaming at him, I think they touched on it pretty well.
yeah.
It's like, why do you think he got that car? To get away from you. And turns out he died in a car wreck when he was 18.
He has a temper. I mean, you got to put it together yourself.
Come on, Ken. It's not
Sorry,
as
this
funny out,
this
man.
movie was too much for me.
It's not as
It
funny out.
was literally giving you breadcrumbs.
Too much.
You just
going on.
weren't hungry enough.
See, this
not
movie
so much.
just weren't hungry like the Dark
enough, Ken.
Souls of cinematic
it's
lore.
the
You have to
Dark
put it
Souls.
together yourself.
See, I didn't come in expecting that.
Good.
See, I came in expecting a lighthearted romp, not the Dark Souls of the cinematic universe.
I knew I should have made y'all watch Southland Tales.
You know, I've never seen it, and I really want to.
Hey, Southland Tales has an Arrow video release now.
I know, I own it.
That was one I always wanted to. I was excited when they announced it because I loved the original Donnie Darko.
Unfortunate, but okay.
I said
It's fine. I know people
good
like
when it
that
came
movie.
out.
I just
and then
don't.
The director's cut wasn't great, which was a red flag.
I can't tell you if I've seen that one or not.
It's significantly less good. Because like the original was good because it was interesting and it was weird and you didn't know what was going on. And the director's cut spelled out a lot more shit, and I didn't like it. And then S. Darko wasn't even part of that universe. They just slapped that title on it to try and. It was like with American Psycho 2, basically. We have this movie. Let's connect it to this popular thing. That'll make us $20.
They got their $20, I guess.
But I always wanted to see Southland Tales.
I mean, I'm
sure it's terrible.
it's an experience. Let me tell you. I haven't seen it since college, but wow. And I also didn't pick that because it's long as fuck.
That's fair.
How long is Southland Tales?
The beef movie.
I think it's like 160 plus minutes, and there's a director's cut that bumps it up to like 180. I
This
think.
was the sequel to Donnie Darko.
No,
It's just the same director.
same
Oh,
director.
okay.
It has one of the most bananas fucking casts I've ever seen in my life, and
It is
that's
a weird
probably
cast.
the only reason I own it.
In which way?
Because it's loaded, but in the weirdest way possible.
Oh.
Justin Timberlake,
totally
Kevin
incongruous.
Smith, The Rock.
Huh.
John Lovitz,
Yeah.
Sherry O'Terry,
Wasn't Sarah Michelle Gellar in it?
yes, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Mandy Moore,
Yeah.
other people, so many people.
That
Throwing
sounds
people in there.
pretty
So many
interesting,
people.
actually.
Like a roll of, like that director just like, okay, I have all these people's number. Hey, you do me a favor?
something.
And we got Southland Tales. And
much.
Jesus, it's fucking weird.
But I mean, it's in the long tradition of directors who have something really good and followed up with something terrible. Like, the guy who did Equilibrium, which I love, followed that up with Ultraviolet, which I have many times derided on this very show.
I've never
What
seen
else
either.
did this director do? Matthew Robbins is his name?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out since we are fucking struggling to talk about this.
I feel like y'all are struggling. You're not even trying to put together a show here.
What the fuck are we gonna say? We already said it.
Well, it's Jennings' goddamn show. Let him lead it, for fuck's sake.
So, this apartment building is just falling to pieces. It's bad. It's gross. The artist in the house is trying to get it preserved by the Historical Society, I believe.
Yeah, he's trying for some reason.
Trying really
He's
hard.
just attached to this building.
Like,
for
this is all in
unknown
the
reasons.
opening scene, I believe.
There's a lot in the first 20 to 30 minutes.
They throw a lot of characters at you. I was really, because you have the wayward artist, you have the beleaguered single mother to be, you have the elderly man and his wife with dementia that he cannot apparently he's never taken care of because they're just living friends. Like, oh yeah, here's our pills, here's her favorite foods.
Here's what she needs to do to not just go into a full-on meltdown. You obviously haven't taken care of her in
because he's too busy just sweeping this derelict restaurant
that no one's been in God knows how long.
I've never heard of any of these other movies this guy's directed. Like, none of them.
They seem very late 80s, early 90s affair.
Like, you got Bingo from 1991.
Classic.
Mothers, Daughters, and Lovers, 1989. This, obviously. Amazing Story. Oh, that's a TV show. The Legend of Billie Jean from 85. Dragon Slayer from 81. Corvette Summer from 78.
What is Dragon Slayer in 81? That sounds interesting.
It's like a
young wizarding apprentice is sent to kill a dragon which has been devouring girls from a nearby kingdom.
That sounds pretty generic.
I mean, here's a snapshot.
Oh, that actually looks kind of okay, maybe.
Yeah, so this is quite literally the only film of this director that I've ever seen or heard of. But I don't know. I don't got the guy's name in front of me. The punk ass who's like trying to get everybody out throwing money. He's throwing out some very thin envelopes
He's
too.
handing out $7 in ones and expecting people to move. Doesn't make any sense.
There wasn't a lot of thickness to this. He's like, tell him you're going to be rich. You're going to be rich.
It was a stronger economy in the 80s. I get that.
I guess. I mean,
Inflation's
for $5 you can move to Cuba. I suppose
we can go to New Jersey.
I mean,
and live in a nice retirement home with the rest of the
old lady. She was kind of like fanning out a lot of. Maybe there's just like $700 bills in there. But
I mean,
it'll be a big stack, in terms of like a lot of money.
So $700 to leave your home.
I mean,
how much was rent in that place? They never said it.
I don't know. Maybe it was rent controlled. Maybe that's why they want to leave.
I mean, I don't know. I did notice that, like, all the baddies that were trying to like get them all out of the house, they were just like in I guess another nearby
derelict
carcass of a building.
Yeah, they didn't really explain that. Were they living there or were they just like hanging out?
I guess they're just hanging out.
They're just street toughs.
They were trying to get the job done.
Just very flamboyant street toughs.
And the one guy was apparently trying to get a corporate job. I don't know. It was really.
Well, I think he was just trying. He's one of those wise guy dreamers. He goes, "Oh, I got ideas," but he's going to be a dipshit. Do the bad things to hustle to get the money. He's going, "Oh, I'm going to go talk to the big boss in my red jacket."
See, he did look pretty slick.
I mean, he did have some fly. He was a dick, but he had some fly outfits.
I mean,
in this movie.
Silver tracksuit with the red tank top.
Yes.
Honestly, the costume department was the shining aspect of this movie. It was phenomenal.
And
every step of the way.
what's his nuts
The
hair?
practical effects too. I mean, like those spaceships.
Yeah, honestly,
Yes.
that was really good. Like, it was really well done. The actual practical effects.
I mean, they held up. Like, I was waiting for them to just look like garbage because I hadn't seen this movie since I was a kid. But I mean,
even up-res on the Blu-ray, or whatever it was, it looked great.
I mean, you can see the seams and like when they had like the little like baby UFOs walking around. But like in terms of the actual little maquettes, they look really good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like whether or not Steven Spielberg like ghost directed this movie, like he was obviously helming the direction of like the special effects. So like they're gonna be top notch because it's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. The black and white photos of Frank and Faye used in the opening credits were real life photos of Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy, who were married for decades. Huh?
Real life.
Really?
Is this a real story?
Based on a true story.
I don't know, which is weird because like I joked about as the opening credits go, like how I think it's awful that still to this day we have like terrible Photoshop and at least family photos in movies.
It was really bad.
Some of these were terrible.
The face clearly did not fit.
They probably chopped up some of their like heads and like put them on other bodies. I guess
They destroyed actual people's photos to make like the cut and paste like intro for these movies.
I forget that IMDb has a parent's guide to movies, right? I don't think we've ever touched on it.
But parent's guide.
A parent's guide. It gives you like the content rating of why it's rated what it's rated. Sex and nudity.
I mean, this is a 1980s PG, so it's definitely different from a 2022 PG.
It's sex and nudity. Mild.
It was pretty mild.
Violence and gore. Mild.
Violence?
Violence. I mean, there's like punching.
Or non-existent.
Profanity.
Yeah, they say bullshit and goddamn a good bit.
Mild. No, like it has like it literally says by like alcohol, drugs, and smoking. Mild.
They mention cigars.
They said like, it tastes like cherry cordial, which I think is alcoholic, maybe.
And I think I saw like one cigar smoked in this movie.
I don't know. They were like, we got to get cigars when the stillborn robot was born.
I think this one's more on the light side. You know what
I mean? I guess how prudish are the people watching?
Frightening and intense scenes.
I mean, doesn't my baby can?
I mean, yes. Fun fact: this movie, according to my parents, scared me when I was a kid.
Was this movie profitable?
Yeah. Profitable, probably doubtful.
I'm pretty sure it made about $40 million off of a $20 million budget.
I think that's not so bad.
And you said it was
that's respectable.
December 87.
That's right.
What the hell else was out? It's probably something big because they always release something around Christmas time.
Yeah. 87. I mean,
Yeah, all the dead babies in this one turned off the family.
Oh, man. So, dude's just like wrecking the diner. Everything's destroyed. Everything's just done.
demolished.
It's just
Dude just
destroyed.
comes in there with the baseball bat and just starts knocking out windows, busting out glass.
And then
This being a real hellion.
Just being a real rapscallion.
A real no account.
Real hooligan.
And then we get a prayer.
It's like,
Yes.
please, Jesus, send your
prayer.
mightiest alien to spite this man.
Please send your mightiest species of self-replicating autonomous AI machines.
And the Lord works in mysterious
He
ways.
sure does.
He sent his
Yeah.
robot children to help his human children.
So December 87,
Yeah.
the top movies of December 87. Number 1 was Three Men and a Baby.
Oh.
Number 2 was Throw Mama from the Train. Number 3 was Eddie Murphy Raw, released as a special in theaters.
Okay.
4 was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Great movie.
5 was Wall Street. 6 was Fatal Attraction. Number 7 was the re-release of Cinderella. And then number 8 was Batteries Not Included.
Hey, top 10.
Wow. So this was a top 10 movie for the year.
Yes, it only barely beat one called Nuts, which I'm not familiar with, but was released in November. Number 10 was Broadcast News, which I'm not familiar with. It released in the same weekend as Batteries Not Included. And number 11, The Running Man, which also released in November. Princess Bride is down there too. Top 15.
For your
So
edification,
this movie was more popular than The Princess Bride.
No, this movie made more money in December than Princess Bride, which was released several weeks before.
so for your edification, Nuts is a 1987 film made by Martin Ritt, which is about a high-class call girl played by Barbara Streisand, accused of murder, fights for the right to stand trial rather than be declared mentally incompetent. Also starring Richard Dreyfuss.
That sounds awful.
Oh,
Sounds
I've
terrible.
never heard of that. Good Lord. Originally intended to be a story featured in the TV series Amazing Stories, that Steven Spielberg liked the idea so much he decided to make it a theatrical release. So this was supposed to be an episode.
An episode?
I feel like it might have worked better as an episode.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Because I watched a lot of Amazing Stories. There's some cool shit on there.
I'm just like assuming it's just like anthology show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can see it.
The one that stuck with me was about a World War II pilot who, it's a plane full of guys, and one of them's a cartoonist, and the wheels get shot off, and so he starts drawing cartoon wheels on the plane just to pass the time before they crash land, and he dies because he's on the bottom on the gunner seat. And when they land, there's cartoon wheels.
Oh, no.
That's really dark.
Yeah, and like he
It's-
saves his life, lands. It's just, yeah,
So it's like a softer, lighter Twilight Zone?
essentially.
When did that come out?
85?
Yeah, early mid-'80s.
I was just reading the other day about how like that position had like an incredibly high mortality rate in World War II, like that under
Yeah.
seat ball gunner
Because if they crash
position.
land, you're dead.
If they crash land, you're dead. You're getting most of the flak from the bottom. Basically, most of the time you're getting hosed out of that thing. It's just wild.
Yeah, just like the opening scene and when they get in the tank in Fury.
Yeah,
They hose that dude out.
I haven't seen.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah, I've heard really good things. I just haven't ever gotten around to checking it out.
I would recommend it. It seems to come on and off of Tubi, a free streaming service, about
I think I have it downloaded.
every 6 weeks.
I have it on. I have it on my hard drive somewhere. Just need to get
Man.
that back up.
Commercials.
Commercials are the devil.
I mean, it's like that's like the only reason. I was like, Tubi's great. Don't get me wrong, but like, if it's a long movie, get ready.
Definitely kind of maybe check the quality because like there's a lot of really this episode brought to you by Tubi. A lot of really hard to find movies. A lot of like kind of higher end movies too. Like
Really?
There's definitely like some they dredge from the bottom of the pool. Don't you worry. But like a surprisingly stacked catalog.
Well, that's cool. I'll have to check that out.
But one of my favorite bits of this movie that I actually completely forgot happened was after we find out that these, I guess essentially aliens can fix everything and also reproduce.
They fuck.
Oh, this
When they fuck hard. Man, hey, all right, okay. Plot hole, got one for you.
Okay.
How come they never fixed that raggedy ass shed?
Well, was the shed ever not raggedy ass?
I mean, they never saw that building, and the building was raggedy ass,
But
and they fixed it.
like back in the 50s, they were just like, we got some driftwood and some scrap sheet metal. Let's just throw it. What was it in the first place? I guess is the better question.
I think it was like a
pigeon coop, because
yeah.
Was it pigeon coop?
Because the old lady said their son kept pigeons,
Oh,
or the old
That
man
makes
did.
sense. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Maybe our pigeon coop's fancy. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, have you seen people's like work sheds and shit when they build stuff? Work sheds are always terrible.
Yeah.
The things they build are nice.
Maybe it was already in peak condition when we see it for the first time.
Like, what about the pigeon coop from like what was it, John Wick 2?
It looked pretty sketchy too.
Wasn't this bad?
No, it wasn't quite this
It
bad.
had-
But everything in this place was that bad.
I mean, it was pretty. It was on its way to being condemned, but then this being 1980s New York, so people are just like, hey, we're accustomed to living in filth. Now, granted, it's not as dirty as it was in the 1970s. They cleaned up a little bit. Every 10 years, it gets marginally better to live.
Man, but yeah, we got like shit on fire, like buildings exploding. Like, they want this shit down. They want to build this ugly ass building that legit looks like something out of RoboCop. This might have been in the RoboCop universe.
It seemed very like I would say brutalist architecture. Twin towers. R.I.P.
Too soon.
And all that. It looks like the perfect building for an evil CEO to get thrown out of.
I mean, yeah.
I want to know why these alien robots, which have came from outer space, assumedly, have to charge up in like standard industrial outlets, and they can be charged in like less than like 10 seconds.
They probably had adapters.
I did.
They had dongles built in.
It's the universal outlet.
I was literally about to say they can fucking adapt.
Like, let me just.
And she came with that, just fucking, they got an adapter.
I need to
And you
let
know
the
what?
nerd me
Yes.
out. Like,
I'm just saying,
the
if that's-
bottleneck,
if
the
that's
bottleneck
the
is battery
line-
technology. You can't charge a battery to that. You're talking about anti-gravitational technology. It requires a lot of power.
I'm just
And you've
saying,
got
if
these little
that's
tiny
the line
batteries
that you
just-
have for believability,
Man,
is
in
that
this
how do they
movie-
fit into a standard American socket?
Oh, and the way that they fixed the dead stillborn robot was just by taking like some like high voltage electricity and arcing it over the circuit board and just chucking it in some water.
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle.
God bless these robots. These truly were God's robots.
Whatever we can't explain with science is God.
I just needed to vent a little bit as a techie guy.
Explain this, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Spielberg. If I ever meet him, I'm just like, how dare you, first and foremost.
Podcast idea, even though I hate every second of it. Neil deGrasse Tyson is just insufferably pedantic about everything wrong scientifically in a movie.
Oh my God.
Other words, it's fucking Twitter.
Oh,
Man.
no. Neil deGrasse Tyson live tweets this movie.
God.
I mean, probably. He gets mad about like snowflakes on a movie poster. That dude's capable of anything.
I saw him refer to, he was like, some people call it a typo, but it's actually a wordo. And I'm just like, how pretentious can you be?
And you know what? This is why nerds are bullied, okay?
It's a fair amount of bullying early on.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they probably came down because they were also hungry.
What's
I
that?
mean, what if they like ran out of food on their planet?
Ran out of scrap metal.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible.
symbiotic relationship with humans.
The first thing they do is come here and just start eating and fucking.
Just, I mean, it sounds like some honest to God rednecks.
Yes, it's like these
These
were like
aliens are
the
hillbillies.
yokels.
These are white trash robots from space coming in to steal our jobs.
Oh my god!
Wait, you know what? Maybe this is your first and last time on the show. Because this sure as shit isn't going to be edited.
I know.
Oh my Jesus! The fucking and it's been briefly talked about. Yes, the aliens give birth to 3 babies.
2 alive, 1 not so much.
Yes, but one of them, again, drain of water in a toaster and it comes back, so everything's fine.
You need to see like dangerously high amounts of electricity and dangerous chemicals, and that's enough to revitalize a baby robot that pops up out of a toilet.
There's a we did mention the former boxer, correct? I don't think we have, but he suffers from CTE and apparently can only speak in commercial catchphrases.
Which, like, it took him a long time to be relevant to the plot. You just see this very tall, older black man. It's like, is he going to do something? And then when he finally does, like, become more tangential to the story, part of me is like, the one thing I feel is a little wiggity. It's just like, the one black character in the movie is just like this, I don't know, gentle giant type of thing, which, like, I don't know, it may not be that bad, but like I know probably some could look at that a little cross-eyed.
How about the only Latino characters are the criminal thug and the unwed expectant mother?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some racial undertones in this movie that have not aged well.
And all the old people, they're white.
Yeah.
Super white.
Oh man, the whitest
Very
old
white.
people you've ever seen in your
And
life.
the young hippie artist, also white.
Also white.
He had a big mop of hair, though. That's like some Kurt Russell in The Thing level hair.
Like, I'm not a fan of mullets, but that was a fantastic head of hair that man had. Okay.
I mean, it was.
He worked on it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds
Somebody
me
worked
of who was the bad guy from The King of Kong? His type hair.
Mitchell, I think.
Yeah, who may or may not be the bad guy because it might have been some curious editing on that film. But big hair type of fella.
Also, what were in those balloons? Once the big baddie is done with Carlos's shit, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna hire somebody else to do this," and he brings in this weird dude, and he sets up some nitroglycerin slow timed thing in a milk carton. Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Like whatever the cool science of arson is, this guy was his fixer.
And he's stapling balloons filled with something. I'm assuming some sort of flammable liquid.
I have to imagine it was gas, considering you had the gas can.
Yeah, that wouldn't. I mean, that eat
does
the
gas
balloons?
melt? Yeah, I was about to say, does gas would that?
It might be some kind of flammable goop.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to talk about the ways you could commit arson, but
Yeah, see, that's our other podcast.
I imagine if the gas combusts before it hits the ground, then it leaves less residue.
Well, I'm more or less talking about the balloon being able to hold the gas. I guess it'd be fine.
I mean, I don't know. I've never
You
tried to
only-
fill a balloon with
You
gas.
only need it for 5 minutes, then.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah, all the arsonists listening to this show, go watch Batteries Not Included and get back to us.
We'd love to know the actual science behind what they were doing.
We don't want to bust this myth. No.
It's just like all the YouTube videos, like experts react to this movie. They just have a guy that's like all sin, just like, yeah, this is bullshit.
Oh God.
Anthony the arsonist.
Also, while this slow bomb is going off, there's still one person left in this building because everyone else is looking for the aliens, the little babies. They ran away.
Dementia lady.
She's stuck in the building.
It's up at the tippy top, and now it's a race against time.
It's just enough time for the unscrupulous Carlos. He's like, we find out he's got a little bit of a soft center. It's up to him to rescue the old lady by feeding into her dementia.
Which, oddly enough,
Backfires.
breaks it. Like, she's like, the entire movie, she's like, you're my son. And finally, he's like, okay, I'm your son. And then she's like, wait,
No,
you're not my
He's
son.
like, you liar, you monster, Frisbee.
Well, it's because you mentioned the car that her kid died in.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the big.
Come on, Ma, I want to show you the new car. She's like,
bit-
car?
a little bit too real.
Yeah. Like Vietnam-style flashbacks to their kid dying.
And she barricaded that door awfully fast.
I mean, it was like one of those old school latches in the middle. It was like with the double doors, just ka-chink.
Yep.
Had those at one of my old jobs, and somebody forgot to lock it once. It was bad. That someone wasn't me. That wasn't my
Did
responsibility.
it get knocked in?
Nah. I just thought it was funny. I was like, look what y'all did.
Although I was definitely thinking, like, toward the beginning of this movie when it's like this kind of weird, somber play, part of me thought, this part of the movie hits a little different after you've seen X 2022. Because there's definitely like, oh, here's some old people that look a little weird, and there's like them things that might bother them, and then like there's a turn in the movie, and then I feel like in another movie this could have been just X 1987.
I mean, there are a couple of moments where this could have been a horror movie. Like, several instances.
Yeah.
It's just like one of the aliens gets like hacked with an axe by Carlos and then gets fixed later on. But like, just imagine, comes back, just murders everybody.
It's like the
Come on, children, let's go.
That the mom robot and the baby robots are just out for blood. Or early in the movie when the old lady first meets the robots, it's like, oh fuck, we've been seen. We gotta get rid of her. So it's just like the two robots just like piling the corpse of this dead woman.
Gotta get rid of her.
It's just like a comedy. It's like, I forgot the old lady's name, but you're better now. She's just like, sparks flying out of her mouth. It's like, damn, you sure put some fire back in your old kiss.
I mean, there was a point where Ken joked where like, it's like, if she dies, like, can the robots bring her back?
Yeah. It's like, can robots consume organic matter and then make stuff out of organic matter? Questions that were not asked, but should be.
And then that offspring of reality, it just becomes that, what was it, late 90s, early 2000s movie with Jamie Lee Curtis called Virus. Where like, it's like just full of cybernetic body horror.
Or in a different world, these robots realize that humans are the best batteries and they make the Matrix.
Yeah,
there you go.
This is the prequel to The Matrix. I think that's the best.
Okay, weird origin tales for other movies based on batteries not included. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Do you think they could be like Transformer embryos since they're like cybernetic and autonomous and intelligent and can like recreate and do stuff?
I mean, it could be.
Could be.
Could also be the precursor to Skynet.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the battle royal with all the 1980s robots, like how long do the batteries not included robots last in the fracas?
Oh, probably not very long.
No.
Well, actually, no, I don't know. They can self-regenerate. What other robots can do that?
Well, I mean, it depends on if they team
Well,
up with some of the
Terminators.
other robots. They could be some of the other robots' healers.
Or they could be like, while all the other robots are fighting, they're like gobbling up the dead body parts and reproducing silently. I mean, when the last ones are left, it's like, I'm ready to go. I didn't hear no bell. And then there's like a tidal wave of them just like bowl them over and rip them apart.
Yeah.
So
It's like, I mean, the more I think about it, I mean, you gotta assume that they can adapt, right? Because like that one moment where I think it was the mom was tired of getting fucked with and like spun around and made a hand out of one of their coffee pots.
And,
Like they just like make that hand. It's like get out of here.
and when
just
she's trying to
smacks-
teach the baby robots to fly, it's like she pulls out this little tiny saw and like cuts off the landing that the one baby's hanging on. So when he's like rapidly adapting like a way to fly, like a little propeller, then like a umbrella, and then eventually he learns how to fly with like little jet boosters or something.
You know what? The more I think about it, the more that's starting to check.
I mean, he spontaneously grew arms to hang onto the ledge.
I forgot about that. I just love it when they were in the kitchen, like fucking up burgers. Like one of those, like putting the burger patty on top of the bun. Just like, what are you doing?
just
That's
couldn't figure it out.
day.
Capable of interstellar travel. Can't figure out burgers.
So this is what it looks like, okay?
It was during the burger bit. I feel like it was ringing a bell on my, because I feel like the robot in the burger was something I'd seen somewhere before. but I don't know if it's the movie itself or just like a spoof of that scene. Like,
I don't know.
part of my brain is telling me, did the Muppet Babies parody this bit with the robot in the burger?
It's entirely possible.
Oh,
They might have even shown clips. They used to show clips of sci-fi stuff on Muppet Babies all the time.
Muppet Babies.
oh man, I remember the Muppet Babies. I had a couple of those tapes too, sitting right next to my batteries not included VHS.
Wait, but would Muppet Babies be on Disney Plus with the rest of the Muppet stuff? There's only one way to find out.
to the iPad.
Did Muppet Babies show batteries not included?
I've never seen Muppet Babies before.
That's because you're a child.
I was born in '94. I'm currently 28.
You just saw another Steven Spielberg joint not too long ago.
Yeah,
for the first time.
I just watched Jurassic Park for the first time last night.
Pat, they did in fact
And it
spoof
was-
it.
Oh,
Right.
No way.
It's called Muppets Not Included.
that's fucked up. But to my original question, Muppet Babies is on Disney Plus, but only the remake of the Muppet Babies.
Wow.
Don't like that.
Yeah, there's actually 3 different Muppet Baby reboots.
When the hell? I was about to say, when the hell are the Muppet Babies rebooted?
3 separate reboots.
Or like there might be like shorts.
Damn it, ain't nothing
That looks like
sacred
a Bob
anymore.
Ross Muppet Babies thing. It looks like a Bob Ross kid. What does it say? Muppet Babies Playdate. It looks like a Bob Ross spinoff. I don't know.
Also, there's a penguin Muppet now. I don't like this new lore.
I'm not up to date on the latest Muppets canon. But
Wait, I thought they had penguins.
But it's I don't know.
They
They're
had penguins
rewriting
on the
history.
original Muppet Show, yeah.
I was like, not just like little side things, just going around in the background or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, they always had background penguins.
Man, there's not enough background penguins in cinema anymore.
you're right.
It has to be somewhere either the gigantic penguins from Batman Returns or the little penguins from
You know,
from the Muppet Show.
I was just thinking that. Justin, you made me watch that Batman movie with the penguins. I'm guessing it's Batman Returns or something like that.
Guessing it's Batman Returns?
I've only.
Where the fuck have you been, kid?
Look, guys, I have not seen a lot of the old Batman movies. The only old Batman movie I've seen was the one he made me watch with the old penguins. So
That's
Batman Returns is a great fucking
it
movie.
had a bunch of big ass penguins. Didn't it have like rocket launchers or some shit?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that being absurd.
That's fucking awesome.
That's about the only thing I remember from that movie was the penguins with the rocket launchers.
Yo, I fucking love that movie.
See, that was the one failing with the Batman. Is that the director was too much of a fucking coward.
Bunch of coward.
They gave Colin Farrell some penguins some fucking rocket launchers on it. Bring this movie out of the fucking dump.
Let's
Turn some
modern.
lights on, you bastard.
Genetic modern human and penguin hybrids with RPGs built into their shoulders.
Turn some
We need to
lights
make it
on,
gritty.
you bastard.
Just pull in some of the penguins from Happy Feet and make them tap dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, yes, please.
What I didn't clock the first time I saw Happy Feet was when the first time the girl penguin and the Elijah Wood penguin introduce each other. They fall on top of each other, but every time they fall on top of each other, it's a different sex position. Go back and watch it. They like 69, and then like anal, and then like reverse cowgirl. It's fucking wild. Go back and look at that scene.
I saw this in theaters. I haven't seen it since.
I've got the DVD. I'm going to have to go look now.
Didn't they make several?
They made
made
two.
Just two?
Yeah.
There was 2 Happy Feets?
There was 2 Happy Feet.
Well, the first one there was 2 Happy Feets, but then how many was in there in the third one? I mean, the second one.
Well, I mean, by the end of the first movie, they were all Happy Feet.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, yeah. A lot of Happy Feet.
But they weren't too happy when like their collective foot tapping like woke up all the orcas and they all got eaten.
Oh, man.
Mm.
That was a sequel that I didn't see.
See, like the movie had an ending that the test audiences, because they're fucking cowards, didn't much fancy, so they had to change it.
Right. But then the ending of number 2, their tapping woke up Great Cthulhu in his sunken city of Ralia.
Yeah.
Oddly, that one stuck though.
You want to try to avoid that if you can.
I mean, maybe. You don't have to avoid
You don't
it.
have to avoid it. Could be
It
all right.
depends. I mean, do Do you want to be swallowed into a perfect madness, or do you want to live your normal life? You know, this is,
I mean, judging by the movie that we just watched, apparently being mad's not all that bad. She seemed like the happiest person in this movie, the lady with dementia. So
until she remembered her kid was dead and she broke down and almost died in a fire.
right until she remembered reality, she was fucking happy.
I mean, literally, the artist's ex-girlfriend's like, this is the 80s. People don't like reality anymore.
I don't know. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, my house is on a fire.
Is bliss.
And you know what? I'm glad they have a brand new house. That way she can just like bury all the new trauma she got from the last week.
This movie
She can just totally reinvest in that deluded mentality that she has.
Oh my god.
It's a good time.
Movie like combined two like Eminem songs without even trying.
What was the first one?
Love the Way You Lie. And
Oh, right. Yeah.
it was
Says
Snap
Mother
Back to
House,
Reality.
yeah.
Oh, there go. Oh,
Lose
people are gonna
Yourself.
lose yourself. That one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Eminem's a fan of Batteries Not Included.
He will never admit it.
he won't admit it. He won't do
The
it.
songs were based off this movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
both
fact.
of them.
100%.
Both
You heard
of
it here
them.
first, folks.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Because like whenever he's in the mood, he sends his entourage away, closes the windows, locks the door, turns off the light, and he just like sits cross-armed in the chair like.
It's like the real Slim Shady's based off of the film Airplane.
Yeah.
Wait,
Everyone knows that.
Everybody knows that.
what?
Ken,
Yeah.
come on now.
The real Slim Shady's based off
Yeah.
of.
Between the lines. Read between them.
Then Without Me was based on Schindler's List.
Hey!
Yeah, everybody knows it, Ken.
Everyone knows that.
Oh man, I need to get up to date on my movie nose. Movie things that people know.
Everybody knows that, Ken.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, we do know you're raised in a storm shelter, but we're going to try to help you readjust to
I
modern
was
life.
raised in a barn. Thank you. It was very much not stormproof. It would have gotten blown away by the tornado. Close
Just
though.
the one tornado. Just the one.
Well, there's plenty. We live in Alabama.
I mean, where do you think we live? There's tornadoes all the time.
No, but
a tornado
he
out
said
in the
the
south.
tornado.
Shit, tornado. 2011 tornado. Never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget.
Which one?
42711.
I forgot.
Never
Sorry.
forget. Never forget.
Man, it was looking pretty dark outside today.
Dude, it looked
like, it
pretty
looked
dark
kind
when
of
I came
gnarly for a minute there.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going to lie.
There was a tornado that came like less than a mile away from my house in the 42711 tornado.
Yeah.
Didn't really do anything. It
just-
just went through a bunch of woods and shit. But
Actually,
it's kind of overshadowed by the tornado that killed a lot of people and fucked up.
Wasn't it the same tornado? I'm pretty sure it was the same tornado.
No, it was a tornado outbreak. It was multiple tornadoes that spawned in the same day.
Which was the year that it was just the one tornado that went from here to Huntsville?
I don't know. The one that went to Huntsville, I'm not sure. In 2011, it went from like, I'm pretty sure it was like Mississippi all the way into Georgia. Like,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
because that was just the one tornado.
No, there were multiple. It was a
Well,
tornado.
there were
outbreak.
multiple that day, but there was one that went from the
Oh yeah,
entire state. I would say.
for sure. There was one tornado in that outbreak that was near my house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the new
there
thriller.
was T-shirts made. The Eolin tornado T-shirt. I have that somewhere in my closet. Eolin's where my old church was in Bibb County, Haysop Baptist Church, one of the oldest churches in Alabama. Founded in like 1831, something like that. Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Didn't get taken out by the tornado though. God provides.
The new thriller movie Tornado Outbreak, where it's a deadly disease that actually creates tornadoes. And Cannon may have had a stroke.
I broke it.
I had a thought. I'm going to keep it to myself, though. No, I'm not putting that one out there. I'll tell y'all off the show. Sorry, y'all. Patreon.com. Fuck you.
Yeah, sorry, that one's just for the boys in the room.
It's the greatest after dark.
Oh, my God. But how about that epic scene, though, that when we got, like, all of the alien saucers coming down to help out to
That was like
rebuild.
the scene in Avengers Endgame when they all just like pop in at the end. You know, it was basically the Avengers Endgame of.
Every movie ripped off Batteries Not Included. That's all I'm saying.
The scene in Rise of Skywalker when Lando shows up with all the ships.
Totally ripped off.
Totally ripped off.
Happened here first.
Yeah.
Here
And-
first in 87/88.
But they thought they could get away with lifting from a movie that came out at the tail end of the year. They thought no one would know. We clocked it.
We caught you. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
So
That was a pretty cool scene, though. I did dig that scene.
It was
nice.
which just goes to show why Episode 9 is still the most creatively bankrupt Star Wars film.
Boo, that movie.
That was not a great one.
No. Episode 9 sucked.
Did not enjoy it.
Fight us, nerds. Who directed that movie again?
That was J.J. Abrams.
That was J.J. Abrams?
That was old JJ.
Fucking ripping off batteries not included, as per usual.
To be fair, JJ's whole shtick is taking something from the 80s and remaking it with other bits and pieces from the 80s.
And also, he's not known for... Yes, but he's not known for ending things.
That's true.
The whole shtick seems to be doing pretty well these days. Have you guys watched the latest season of Stranger Things?
I haven't finished it.
I am caught up, yes.
It's phenomenal. I loved it, honestly. I think it was one of the best seasons so far. But it totally leans hard into the whole 80s nostalgia.
And you can thank J.J. Abrams for not being a part of it.
Yay!
Thanks, JJ, for not fucking this one up.
Guess what? Part 2 of season 4, both episodes directed by JJ.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. The Duffy brothers, you fucked this one up.
JJ on the first one, Ryan Johnson on the second.
It just takes a hard turn and he just rips off Poltergeist the entire time for some reason.
Yeah, the whole thing was fucking 11's coma dream. Thanks,
And the
2010.
second episode turns out it's like we weren't even at war with the Empire, but love's going to save us from everything. And
Hey, love is the greatest weapon of all. If I learned anything from Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
I haven't played that game.
I thought
Which apparently is getting something of a cultural reevaluation on certain parts of Twitter.
Really?
Yep.
What Final Fantasy? What with them?
Spirits Within.
What?
that
show
animated
was that?
Yeah, the movie they did.
Oh, there's a movie.
It was a 3D animated movie, supposedly based off, the high fantasy video game series, but it was definitely hard sci-fi.
It had nothing to do with anything else in the series.
Fun fact, I never played any of the games. I did watch that movie.
Yeah.
And that was my only fucking, crumb of Final Fantasy ever.
Well, good news, it has nothing to do with anything.
Doesn't, all the Final Fantasy games have, only, their set...
Well, they're, for the most part, they're self-contained story. There are some direct sequels, but for the most part, they're pretty, to themselves.
That's where, 10-2 comes from?
Yeah,
shit that?
stuff
Okay.
like that. But that's kind of far in between.
No.
I just recently played through the Final Fantasy X remake for the most part. I got all the way up to the final battle and haven't quite finished it because I need to go back and grind some more. But it was pretty fun game. That was the first Final Fantasy game I ever played. I played Final Fantasy Tactics as a kid on the Game Boy Advance, and then I bought Final Fantasy 1 and 2, and I'm like, this is nothing like this Tactics game that I've played. So
Yeah, it turns out there's about 25 years of difference.
yeah, it turns out it's not the same game at all. It was actually a spin-off that I thought was the original main series game. So
That was actually just the first one you played, which is why you thought it was the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
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 Sorry.
That was a hairball.
It was actually a Diet Pepsi can.
Well,
I had a snack earlier.
seems about the right time to end it, I think.
Yeah, I'm out of water.
So, Cannon,
Yes.
where can the people find you?
Well, the people can find me at That Cannon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Goodreads, and TikTok.
Ken?
I really don't do social media, but if you want to talk to me, you can probably figure it out.
Cool.
Yeah, if you put some clues together, you can find his home address.
Especially
Yeah.
when we tag him in social media and shit.
Yeah.
It'll be easy. Pat?
Yes, hello, and good night. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. John lost his name. If you would be so kind, please go on to the AYC8 side of thing and check out our episode 269.
Nice.
It's a double 69 for you this week, folks. Hope you fucking appreciate that. All natural. Didn't even plan it that way. But it is a lengthy, girthy episode for you. It is 3.5 hours of Colton Wenzel breaking down all the gaming news that has come out in the month of June. So anything you missed or you just need a refresher from all the big announcements, the conferences, they have you covered. They go through it all, very thorough. Please go check that out wherever podcasts are found. That's episode 269 of All I Can Hear podcast.
And I'm Captain Shimmy. You can find me on all the Captain Shimmy shit I always say. We need to do the wheel.
Yay! Where
The wheel.
The wheel.
Where is the wheel?
Where is the wheel? I don't see it.
It's a good question.
I know it's down here. We brought it back down from last time. It's probably just putting another spirit.
I found it.
Yay!
He found the wheel.
He found the wheel. Ken, as our guest, do you want to give the old
I
wheel a
spun the
spin?
wheel last time, but I'll
Yeah.
spin the wheel this time too.
Well, I mean, at this point, it feels like we're just going to make you the permanent uncaged guest.
All right. Wait, does that? Never mind. Not going to go there quite yet.
Okay.
Hurry up, I'm dying.
Yeah. So, Pat, what are the options on the wheel?
Look, fellas, I'm still fucking frustrated that you guys didn't have someone who actually knew Gears of War lore on your Gears of War show.
I thought we covered it pretty well.
I mean, that would have implied we wanted
you
to
had
talk
some
about
weird
it.
kind of Rob Fever Dream, like 15-second mishmash of actual Gears of War.
Talking to Rob is a fever dream. That's
Look,
just how that
talking to
goes.
Rob is a fever dream. I'm not going to argue that, but there's a lot to Gears of War. Like, obviously, Gears of War is big, burly fucking men.
Yeah, you already
shooting
missed
aliens.
your point. Nobody cares. We're done.
Whatever.
We've been
On
there
the
already.
next
We're
episode
done.
of Cajun Greatness, I'm just kidding. All right, we're gonna
All
roll.
right, so we're gonna spin. Pat,
Yes.
what are we spinning for?
Just a refresher for the listeners. On the cage wheel, there are 14 spaces, and each space is numbered as such, 1 to 14, and I will go over the possible choices for each one. Number 1, Batman discussion. Number 2, Hanks a Lot, which will be a review of a Tom Hanks film. Number 3 is Jimmy's Choice. Number 4 is the Wild Wild West review. Number 5 is Story Time with that Cannon guy, baby. Number 6 is Cajun Greatness Crew talks about the worst comic book characters. Number 7, B-Movie Spectacular, where the host will pick a B-movie of their choice and bring it to the table for discussion. Number 8 is Ken's Choice.
Ew.
Hey, you can talk about Halo or Gears of War or whatever shooter you have strong feelings for.
Oh no, we're gonna get.
Number 9 is WrestleMania point counterpoint discussion. Number 10 is Rocket Man versus Rocket Man. The classic Disney comedy versus the Elton John biopic.
Man.
Number 11 is Pat's Choice. Number 12 is a review of Kindergarten Cop. Number 13 is the Creed retrospective. And number 14 is a review of Paddington 2. Not 1, just Paddington 2.
It's just Paddington 2.
And
All right.
right.
if you would be so
Here we
kind,
go.
Let's get this done. Wheel of Morality. Turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
number one is Batman discussion.
Batman discussion.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds like something not terrible.
Guess we're talking Batman.
Yeah, so now everybody who has strong feelings about that pervert with a cape, bring him to the table for next
That
time.
mad masked vigilante who just runs around masquerading as a rodent.
That's the one. That'll be our July 21st episode. So, Ken, clear your schedule on the 18th.
Okay.
We will be back for a bat topic. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right.
Same bat.
But next week,
Tacos.
next week is what I say, National Treasure 2.
Yep. Just in
Book of
time
Secrets?
for just in time for Independence Day. Though at the way America's behaving, I'm not sure they should be allowed to celebrate.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll have a good time regardless. But it'll come out on a Thursday, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And after that, Pat's birthday choice.
Yeah.
Then Batman.
You know, it's
Then
my birthday
Batman
last
talk.
week.
And then another round of the impression game.
Yeah.
And then after that, we don't know.
We don't have no idea.
We'll let you know.
We're in uncharted waters, baby.
We'll get around to it. We'll tell you.
Quarter 3, who the hell know what's happened
You'll be the
there?
first to know.
Here there be dragons.
Thank you all for listening. Check out our merch store at tpublic.com/user/Cajun Greatness, and we'll see you next week.
Good night, Babs.
How absurd. couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
How absurd.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.